Right, here we are. Welcome to the November Diaries for Handheld Press. It's dark, it's winter, and I'm filming this in the evening, which is a change. So you'll get this sort of moody, moon shadowy effect because there's no light outside. What did I do this month? Well, Topsy, the notes are finished. I took forever to finish proofing Topsy. You're probably bored hearing about Topsy, but this is a dense book. It's one of the thicker books we've done. There's so much in it because it's 3 books in one volume. And so the proofing's done. The notes are done, which took a lot of research into 1940s post-war politics, as well as late 1930s slang and greyhound racing terminology. It was quite intense, but that's all done. Next week I write the introduction, and then we'll see how long it's going to be to print. Thing is, it has to be a multiple of 32 pages because this is such a big book. We've got to get the best print deal possible, and 32 page multiples are the way to go. So that's a lot of pages to get sorted out. So Topsy, almost there. Probably won't mention it in the December diaries. Tweaking, yes. I think last time I mentioned that I was adjusting the cover for Topsy because the sales reps in the US had different ideas about what should be on the cover, and that's good because it's really helpful getting that feedback. And then I had a 4 in the morning moment thinking, oh my goodness, it's just like Bridget Jones for the 1920s, which it is. The Topsy story, the Topsy letters are pretty much what Bridget Jones's diary was like in the mid-1990s when that book first came out as newspaper columns in The Independent, which I read a lot. I loved Bridget Jones when she was a newspaper column. I've never seen the films, don't really interested. But yeah, Topsy's like that because she too began as magazine columns every month in Punch, and now she's a book, and now we're going to reproduce her as a book. So to describe her as the Bridget Jones of the 1920s just pretty much hits it. In fact, it's Bridget Jones for the 1920s if she was written by Nancy Mitford. Now you think about that. I went back into Edelweiss. Now, this will mean nothing if you're not in the book trade. It'll mean nothing if you don't work as a book reviewer or a blogger, because Edelweiss is a complicated database platform thing that lists every book that's coming out that's available, and it's a way for bookshops, librarians, book bloggers, reviewers, mostly in the US, but quite a lot in the UK as well, to be able to download digital copies of books that are coming out in the next 6 months or so. So it's a good way to get review copies. It's a very good way for publishers to release their stuff into the wild. So now I've uploaded the next 5 books we've got coming out. I've uploaded the PDFs as e-review copies, but they are invitation only. So if anybody wants them on Edelweiss, they just click send me a request, and I usually reply within 4 hours, often sooner. And I'm very happy to let librarians, reviewers, bookshop owners, bookshop workers, teachers get an e-review copy of our books. I'm less interested in letting book bloggers and reviewers get copies unless they can show me, well, where do you review your books? Because if somebody says, I'm a reviewer, I read so many books, I talk to my friends a lot about books. If you don't say what the website is that you're going to be reviewing our book on, well, why should I give you a review copy? So I'm having to be quite tough about that. It was very interesting. When we used to do Edelweiss, we had about 40 or 50 downloads of one title in about 2 weeks. Most of them were what I call absolute freeloaders. Now I've put a restriction. People have to ask. Far fewer requests, but they're all genuine requests, which is really heartening. So I think that's the way to go. I'm doing a lot of reading at the moment for 2 new supernatural anthologies of classic short stories. Both proposals came to me in the same week, and I went, yes, I must have these. They're wonderful. And both the editors of the proposed volumes have been showering me with short story links, with PDFs, with telling me to borrow this book from the library and have you seen this link and look at this on Gutenberg. So I've been dancing between the 2 collections, which are actually quite different. They're both supernatural. They're both pretty much based in the very beginning of the 20th century. One of them goes into mid-20th century. And I'm going, ooh, this is good, that's not so good, that's good, that's good, this is good, but it's not really on theme. I don't think we can have that. The theme is this, but this is that. It's really interesting. I love helping to shape a collection. The editors will have the final say, but I will be pretty clear about whether I think a story is a yes, a no, or a maybe. And then the editor can decide from the yeses which one they want to have in their anthologies. And we hope to publish both of these in 2024. I'm not telling you anything else about them because we need to get the titles and the selection sorted. So it's early stages, but they're both really going to happen and they're going to be good. Supernatural, yay. On the 15th of November, I went to London for my epic trip. I gave a talk at the Guildhall in person, off to the tube, I went shopping, and then I went to University College London because we had a private book launch for our 2 John Fluellen Reese books, which were published that day. What was so nice was that we had not only family members of John Fluellen Reese, including one man who remembered being shown around London by Reese when he was a schoolboy, but also we had Jane Oliver's nephew and his wife. So David was there with his wife. And the 2 family groups just to talk, because they have a lot in common. They very rarely meet because Jane Oliver's nephew lives in Orkney. The others lived in the east of England and the south. So it was just nice to be able to provide this occasion to celebrate John Fluellen Reese, to say, right, the books are out, have a drink, let's toast him on his way. And for me, not quite to draw a line under these books because they're still fabulous. I will be talking about them for a long time. I'm already booked to do a talk at the Corsham Bookshop on the 21st of February to talk about John Fluellen Reese and aviation fiction. And the day after that, Luke Sieber and I gave a talk at the Westminster Library, which was just so enjoyable. It was one of the best ones I think we've done as an event for the Westminster Library online talk series. And the link will be up soon on our website. If you sign up to our newsletter, you'll get the link that way too. But it was a cracker, all about aviation in the 1930s, the literature of aviation, why people wrote about flying, and how John Fluellen Reese fits into this canon. It was just great, really enjoyable. And then after the Reese launch, well, it wasn't after, it was halfway through the Reese launch, I slipped away and I went to the British Library because the Polari Prize was being announced. This was great fun. I just sat at the back and enjoyed myself watching these flamboyant, gorgeous people hugging and screeching with laughter because it was just a happy occasion for the LGBTQ plus community to come together and celebrate children's writing, first novels, first books, and also the Polari Prize itself. Our book, Valentine Ackland, although shortlisted, did not win, but that's fine. The winner was the most amazing poet who's already won the T.S. Eliot Prize, so I think she probably deserved to get this prize too. But that was fun. It was a great day out. I've joined Mastodon. Twitter has been having its issues, and Mastodon suddenly became a thing. I don't follow tech or social media particularly. I'm hardly a pioneer in this. I'm much more of a sort of, if a new kind of bit of software comes up, I might adopt that quickly. But when it comes to signing up for things online, nah. But Mastodon, I thought, okay, right, let's try this Mastodon. We've got over 320 followers now, and it's only been about a week and a half. It's fun. I really like it. I have joined the Mastodon UK.app instance server, lilypad thing, which is just the thing you sign up to and then you can talk to anyone anywhere else in the Fediverse. It's just a different social media channel. It's pleasant, it's not angry, it's not aggressive, you don't get right-wing nonsense shoved at you. You don't get any adverts. I had forgotten what it was like to look at social media that doesn't have adverts because other social media channels do have adverts. The way Mastodon is funded is by voluntary donations, usually through a Patreon. And I've donated, and hopefully lots of other people will. So we'll see how it goes. So if you're looking for Handheld on Mastodon, it's Kate Handheld at Mastodon UK. No. Yeah, mastodonuk.app, I think. Or maybe it's the other way around. We'll put the link up. And finally, I did a talk. Well, I didn't. I sort of held the reins and let Tessa do the talk. So this was again for the Guildhall Library. Tessa Bowes, who is an author, she wrote a very good book about the bird feather trade and how one woman managed to stop the trade in dead birds for decorating Victorian and Edwardian hats. Her newest book is about lost department stores of London. I mean, I can't think of a more fascinating subject. And this is directly connected to Business as Usual, which we published 2 or 3 years ago. And Tessa read Business as Usual, loved it to bits, got in touch with me, and we talked about it. And then we decided, well, let's do a talk together. So last week we did a talk on the Guildhall at the Guildhall Libraries on their programme for online talks. And pretty much Tessa did the talking, and I went, yes, but expand more on this and tell us about this, Tessa. Oh, Tessa, tell us about this. I was just pushing that talk along, and it was terrific. 45 minutes of absolute nostalgia. 320 people signed up for that. That was great. It was so much fun. And that's, again, I say this a lot. One of the things I love doing best, connected to Handheld, is talking about the books, talking about the social history, talking about the people who write the books, which is why I'm talking to you now. Anyway, I'll see you at the end of December. Have a good Christmas and a happy Hanukkah.